Welcome to Afterthoughts. This is a recommend or refute episode where we will tell you something we recently watched and whether we recommend you should watch it or we're just going to eviscerate it and refute it. Your choice to watch it after that. I'm your host for the night, Ryan King. Also joining us is John Garcia.
Hi, Ryan. It's great to be here doing an Arnold impression for fucking no reason, according to the audience. And it's a bad one too. Right, it's just a bad one.
I think they're all good.
Yeah, and ultimately, any impression of Arnold is a good impression. At least you try.
Yeah. Arnold's doing an impression of Arnold at this point anyway. So
that's right.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Also joining us, Michael Dixon.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm going to be interested to hear your Arnold impression when you give us your review of the film that you
didn't
watched
even do one,
this week.
coward.
But no, I'm just going to throw it back to Ryan. I stick to Donald Trump and Brockmeyer.
He knows what he does, and he knows it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he's going to stick to it. John, what bullshit did you watch?
God damn it! That I would start this off with. You
would think it was something Arnold Schwarzenegger related, but it's not.
Yeah, you would think that I'm watching Jingle All the Way or some shit after Christmas. Sure, why not? Some other shit. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Not a Schwarzenegger bit, but one that he did goad Stallone into doing. Sure.
Might as well have been.
Yeah, he might as well have. So I'm bringing something that Sasha wanted us to watch together because she had read the book for her book club and said, I want to watch the movie. We need to watch the movie. And unfortunately, it wasn't Scorsese's Age of Innocence, which is, I've heard good. I've never
It's great.
seen it.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Never seen it. She wants to watch it at some point. We'll do that too. But this one is the adaptation of Practical Magic. It's 1998's Practical Magic.
The Owen sisters are two beautiful witches.
Hang on to your husbands, girls.
With one wicked problem.
She has the worst taste in men.
Any man they fall for falls victim to a deadly curse.
Any man who wins the heart of an Owens woman is bound to end up 6 feet under.
And as hard as they try,
Oh my God!
they can't keep their loves
I feel like I'm never gonna see you again.
Look out!
alive.
Directed by Griffin Dunn, who has...
Of After Hours?
Yes,
Griffin Dunn?
That's right. Of Afterthoughts. I'm sorry, After Hours. There's no connection between us and
I
him.
did not know that Griffin Dunn was directing.
It's wild. He's directed that and a bunch of other movies that aren't really worth mentioning.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
Griffin Dunn, director of Movie 43.
Oh, no. One of the 43 directors.
43 directors of that. Whoops.
43 short films about Springfield.
Yeah. Who knows how that went. Practical Magic. It's a film that I like to think of as the prequel to Eyes Wide Shut because it does star Nicole Kidman, and it's her in a very similar role where
Interesting.
she's looking for a guy in which she can trust and also that they can fuck. So I just assume, hey, there's some tie here, you know? She's also very coy about it, and there's a lot of, secrets and darkness to this. This adaptation of the book Practical Magic is about two sisters. They're from this family. They've been adopted by their aunts and raised into their kind of coven of witches in the New England area. And they try to kind of live their life, and it has this sort of sisterly bond that they go through. The core premise is just that the sisters stick together, sort of help each other through this really trying time where they've both grown up. You see them as kids learning about witchcraft, and then you see them as adults being witches. And one of them, Sandra Bullock, is in it. Sandra Bullock's character is this witch who's very pragmatic about her approach to using witchcraft. I didn't want to say practical because that's the fucking title of it. But she's like, I don't want to use witchcraft for things because it usually has a trade-off with it. And at the same time, Nicole Kidman uses witchcraft when she pleases. She's escaped from home because living with these old crones just really grinded her gears.
Wait, escaped from home? Isn't she like a full-grown adult?
She was like an orphan, and then they get raised by those aunts. And then when they're like of age, she's like, you know what? I'm fucking running away with this handsome guy on a motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
I'm never coming back home, and I don't want to be in this stupid suburban life. And meanwhile, Sandra Bullock's like, I'm going to learn the ways of the witches, and I'm going to, I'll never fall in love, because falling in love means that eventually the man you love will die. That's just the curse of the family, I guess, or some shit. And it's just about them like living together and trying to save each other. And I'm not doing a good job of selling it. I would love the description that one of them is giving to someone else. I'm like, this is the magic or some bullshit. Yeah, just fuck it. Well, because the entire time I watched it, Sasha was like, they put real magic in this movie. In the book, they kind of make it like is it or is it not really magical? There's like a subtext to it, and like what is it that you really believe in, and the faith that you have, and is it the strength and faith in your family that really makes who you are, and that kind of shit. Movie doesn't give a fuck about that. Movie makes it all about magic. Movie's like, yeah, they cast spells on people and it makes shit come true, and it does all this fucked up shit to everybody. And usually all the spells backfire, because it's like with great power comes great responsibility. And these fucking witches don't know what they're doing. Witches be crazy. Am I right, fellas? Oh. And they fucking, it's like, that's kind of what the movie felt like it was doing with its screenplay and the way that it was written. The story itself doesn't really sell it. It is the performances that come down to being something that makes it more than what it is. For me, a lot of the performance by Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, these are two actors that like, I didn't really grow up with. Whenever I saw them in most movies, I didn't give a shit. Like it's like, fine. Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, I know they can both act. Okay. Like I've seen
Nicole Kidman can act.
Nicole Kidman can act. And I've seen Eyes Wide Shut by now. I've seen The Northman. She's great in that.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of other things. Sandra Bullock, I've seen The Blind Side. I know she can act. It's just it's a certain qualifiable quantity of how she can act. I've seen Gravity. I know she can act a certain way.
Speed.
I've seen Speed. She can act. It's mostly frantic. She's always just kind of not composed and yelling and frantic at people. Doesn't really line up with things. She's in people's faces and being sassy. I have not seen Miss Congeniality, which I've heard is a great cult film and people enjoy for her charisma. I hadn't seen Practical Magic. There's a certain era of Sandra Bullock that I think is probably like the era of Anne Hathaway that I just haven't really witnessed. I don't know exists. Practical Magic is one such thing where like her and Nicole Kidman do seem to have a good chemistry in the film. They do have a good representation of what sisterhood is, even if there are a lot of facts or pieces of like not facts, but like details from the adaptation that are glossed over. Cause Sasha was doing that nerd thing during the movie where she was filling me in on all the shit that they didn't do or did do and whatever the fuck it was.
This really reminds me of a recent experience that I had talking about some sort of graphic novel adaptation. I don't remember. I remember it was terrible.
A bunch of nerds sat around and talked at you for forever about how much better the source material was. Yeah, where have I heard this before? Can you please do it in a Tucker Carlson impression? Where have I heard that before? These are the goals now. This is the rule.
I feel like the impression is on the face with him.
Yeah, it really is. It's hard to do. Can't contort your face into an asshole when you're on a microphone. It just doesn't work the same. But yeah, Practical Magic. Like it doesn't.
Why is everything I say a question?
Yeah. But yeah, like it has this kind of whimsical aspect of it. Parts of it are sort of funny. Parts of it are fucking weird and oddly wholesome. Tonally, the movie is a mess. As an adaptation, also a fucking mess. What carried me along was the performances, and I think the direction. Griffin Dunn did a good job directing some of the scenes. A lot of the scenes are really well directed.
That's good to hear.
But it does end up feeling kind of like this movie that was made for people who skimmed the book or read the book and are like desperate housewives or desperate for like a romantic sense of what the book was actually presenting. There's a lot of like there's a detective at one point who shows up because the characters, they commit murder. First of all, these two sisters commit murder. They accidentally murder a man. I don't know how you do that, but they accidentally murder him with like witchcraft.
It's called manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
If Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has taught us anything, is that accidentally killing someone is called manslaughter.
I see that you were convicted of man's laughter. It must have been quite a joke, which is a bit from the new Naked Gun.
Did
good
not
joke.
know that.
It's a good joke. Must have been quite the joke. But yeah, they like kill a man. It's an abusive boyfriend of Nicole Kidman's. And then they try to bury the body and this detective comes sniffing around. And it's like this like how it becomes a thriller of like, how are they going to get away with this? What are they trying to do? And the whole time where they buried the body, there's like a rose bush growing bigger and bigger. And it's like this whole metaphor of how big. It's a Telltale Heart kind of situation.
Can't they just do magic to get out of this?
See, that's the thing is they try to kind of do that. And it doesn't fucking work. And they sort of end up killing the guy again because they bring him back to try to like, yeah, it's like, it's got comedic bits. It's got situational comedy that's kind of funny and does make you laugh.
Is there like a Trouble with Harry adaptation?
Sort of. Yeah, it feels like
okay.
that. Yeah.
Is there the follow-up courtroom drama where they try to argue that when they killed him after resurrecting him from accidentally killing him, that doesn't count as murder?
That would be great, but
they're just redoing the manslaughter. It should be a second count of manslaughter. Yeah.
That's sort of like, it's like a speed run they do with the detective where Sandra Bullock's character falls in love with him and it becomes this whole trope and shit like that. Just like those bits, it's like the writing is not strong enough to carry the movie. It has to be all in the actors, and the actors themselves believe hard enough in it. And so it ends up being this kind of film that like, it's a good matinee movie. Like that's how I could recommend it, is like, it's a good matinee movie. It's enjoyable. You can watch it with somebody and you can both like talk and pick apart parts of it without hating all of it and be like, this could have been done better. This could have been this thing. There are other genuine scenes that made me remember like, oh, this is why people really liked Sandra Bullock as an actor. Like she fucking does a good performance as the character she is. She's kind of this neurotic sister who has always tried to live by, you know, keeping her head down and not embracing who she kind of is. And it sounds cliche explaining it this way, but when she really does come into her own of being who she is, the movie, it made me feel something in a very sentimental, sappy way. And I appreciated it for what it was trying to do. As an adaptation, Sasha was like, you know, not great, but Sasha and I laughed a lot during it, both at the movie and with the movie at different times. And I think that speaks to something that has certain parts that really do channel the talent and creativity going into it. And it's not just a full cynical vehicle for these actors to like have a stepping stone to something else. It does feel like they were trying to do something. Now, at the end of the movie, I was like, I don't know if this is what the secret of the Yaya sisterhood is like, but I assume there's some tie here in sisterhood that comes through, and I have no interest in watching that. I'm just like out there. Like, I just don't really feel like these kind of movies are for me. But Practical Magic, sure. I saw it. I watched it. I had criticisms of it while watching it. I just genuinely enjoyed a lot of it. I can be critical of something and also be entertained by it. And I feel like this is like kind of that last gasp of the late 90s where they were like, let's get these actors together and try to do something to cash in on an adaptation or some optioned book that we had. And the actors fucking took the assignment seriously and they tried to do what they could with it. And I appreciated it. So I would recommend it. I recommend it as a date night movie. I don't know if like as a solo film, you're going to watch it and enjoy it. I recommend it as a companion to the book because I feel like it has a good contrast given what Sasha's told me between the book's kind of very hinting at subtlety and like faith and whatever, and the movie's kind of overt use of magic as a spectacle, as something to engage the audience. I think that this is another thing where like, contrary to the previous episode that we did, you don't have to sit for 3 hours and be, you know, fucking grueling through this to understand that adaptations are different. But this is something that can keep your attention, kind of make you feel interested in it, learn a little bit more about it, question it, and then realize that like there's something better behind it. There's a different kind of purpose in what was written than what's shown. But yeah, I don't know. That's my general assessment of it. So
Interesting.
This is amazing. The screenplay is written by the person who did the screenplay for Matilda, Memoirs of a Geisha, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, winning an Academy Award and a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
And also adapted by the screenwriter for I Am Legend, I Am Robot, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin.
That
And like those two getting together made something
is
half
wild.
good,
That is kind
half
of, that is, representative. That is pretty fucking wild.
Could you feel the tension between the screenwriters in the movie?
Honestly, you kind of can, because the scenes have like a pendulum swing of actual gravity where you're like, I definitely am like locked in for this part. And like, then it would go back and be like, what the fuck's going on with this part? Like, I don't understand how this is a thing happening right now. So it feels like it feels like two writers wrestling with themselves throughout it. And they're definitely like producer notes or some kind of studio fucking notes in certain parts of it where they're like, we got to have romance in it. We got to make the romance even romantic. Like, we got to make it spicier than what it was in the book. Like, let's fucking do these things. And like, from what I understood, the book is much more about two sisters trying to stick out for each other, and it being, how do we cover something so egregious that needed to be committed, as we thought, under necessity, and like doing this witchcraft and all this stuff to kind of preserve our family heritage. And then the movie is like, oh my God, this handsome cop is into me. And like, it just abandons some of that at some point. And it's like, I just want to fuck this guy. Like, I just got to get in there. I'm like, ugh. Like,
oh man, if I've learned anything from American culture, it's that being a cop's wife is a great experience.
So many happy endings with cops' wives. It just happens. But yeah, and there's like a lot of that like playful banter where the cop is trying to investigate them, and he's like, I don't know if I should believe you or fuck you. Like, it's that's not actual dialogue, but
seems like you could do both in theory.
That's the real vibe, where he's like, I'm really torn between my morals of wanting to uphold the law and absolutely rail you. Like, that's the kind of tension they try to conjure.
Gotta get up in that magic puss.
Yes, that's exactly. Unfortunately, yeah, in that witch's cauldron. Stir it up. That's unfortunately kind of how like dumbed down it feels like it got. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, come on, this guy can't just immediately be in love with Sandra Bullock's character, and yet he is. So it's kind of bullshit, but also sweet and sentimental. I liked it.
You've kind of already answered my question, but when you immediately at the beginning, when you said one of the sisters wants to get away from the family and do her own thing, and the other wants to like be part of the family and learn the family trade, I was like,
Godfather?
Here's what's going to happen. Nicole Kidman's character is going to like learn the meaning of family and like come back to the family and be close with them again. And Sandra Bullock's character is going to find love and realize that she needs to branch out and do things outside of just the immediate family. And it sounds like from this cop love story angle that may be at least partly what happens.
That is partly what happens. But Sandra Bullock's character actually in the beginning already finds love, and then her husband dies tragically, and it becomes a story of grief. For a good portion of it, it is a lot of like, she's just trying to hold on to what she has, and what she has is like a sister who doesn't want to be a part of her family, and like an aversion to loving again, because she just doesn't want loss anymore. She doesn't want to feel things. And that's where like the actual gravitas of the fucking piece comes in, is these characters do have a lot of damage to them, and they talk through a lot of it. But towards the end, it becomes like hijinks and capers and kind of fucking goofy shit between the sisters that's happening. And it's done really well in a way that's funny. Like, it is amusing, but it does lose a lot of the punch of what it's working up towards. Like a real come together moment where they realize they have to be, despite the fact that they don't agree with each other, that they do have different goals in life, that they need to come together and be there for each other, is done in a different way, where like it becomes almost too schmaltzy, and like the whole town kind of has to come together for them in a way that doesn't make sense. And even Sasha was like, I don't know, something about this just happened too fast. It's like, okay, the pacing is just definitely off in the way this is told. So Yeah. I'm coming down more negative on it. It sounds like as I talk about it, there's a lot to pick apart. Like I said, I still think that it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. They're making a sequel of it. I have no interest in seeing the sequel. I don't give a shit about this reboot. I don't give a fuck about whatever this is.
Are they bringing back the original cast?
Yes, they are. Yeah. And that's where I'm like, we don't need to do this again.
Is Griffin Dunn back?
That would be the real question. Is Griffin done with it or not?
No, he's not coming back.
Yeah, it's somebody else. Sasha was like, "Oh, they have a trailer on YouTube," and she tried to watch it. It was AI. They make AI trailers now of everything. They make fucking full AI trailers of all of this, and then they have whole channels that churn that slop out. And I was like, I'm not going to watch any trailers unless I see it come from the studio itself. I don't care.
Oh, I assumed the studio was putting out AI trailers.
No. It's like there's whole subgroups of channels that make they made Will Smith is going to be in the new Popeye reboot. That's an AI trailer. And they'll just put his image there and then they clip it together and do AI stitching. And it's so just, it is the epitome of what's wrong with the internet now. It's all driven by clicks and engagement and
the fresh Popeye of Bel Air.
Yeah. The fresh shit of Bel Air. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Practical Magic. Haven't read the book, enjoyed the movie. Supposedly the book, a lot deeper, a lot better. Hey, what book hasn't been better than the movie? Wait, there's been a few, right?
The Shining.
That's right. There you go. The Shining. Yeah. Boom. Maximum Overdrive. Where all those trucks come to life, directed by Stephen King, better than his own book.
Is it? I don't know. I haven't read the book. The movie's pretty fucking awful, though.
Something about people cowering in fear from autonomous Mack trucks.
Green Goblin truck.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what I got. Practical Magic, everybody. I would recommend it, but it's like a matinee recommend. So I guess take that what you will. Fuck it.
Sort of I guess, cult movie recommend.
Yeah, it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
Definitely. Don't see the sequel. Don't support Hollywood on this bullshit. Fuck this. Fuck this all the way.
We don't know yet. We'll see.
It feels like they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel to be like a mid-budget 1988 movie that did decently
bombed
in theaters, or
no,
maybe
it didn't do that
bombed.
well.
It bombed. Yeah, let's remake that. They're just what IP haven't we completely ravaged? That there's some sort of fan base left lingering on.
Look, I'm looking forward to the 20 years from now, Tron. This time it'll stick, right?
Yeah.
Tron Forgacy or whatever the fuck they call it.
Forgacy.
The dumbest fucking name. They got Vin Diesel now to be in it, and they're gonna do their fast crossover for you.
It's all AI generated music.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, AI generated based on some Daft Punk or something. Oh, gross.
All right, Dixon. Yeah, Dixon. What did you watch? Take us away from this Impractical Magic.
All right. Yeah, I watched something on a very different end of the spectrum. So as I mentioned a few episodes ago, I've been going through Italian films in preparation for going on vacation to Italy, which I'm very excited about. So I have been going through some old Italian classics, and I watched 1960s L'Avventura.
Michelangelo Antonioni's erotic adventure that travels from the core of human desire to the surface of casual passion, magnificently told against the lavish background of the affluent society of present-day Europe. L'Avventura, unfolding in vividly etched scenes of unprecedented pictorial splendor and sensuality, the lives of a group of unsettled people in a constant, never-ending search for spiritual and physical fulfillment.
Which translates to The Adventure, which is a bit of an ironic title. It's directed and co-written by Michelangelo Antonioni, starring Gabriele Ferzetti, Monica Vitti, and Leia Massari. L'Avventura is a really interesting film. It came out kind of on the edge of a lot of change in European cinema. The French New Wave was just kicking off. There was a lot of people, especially in Europe in the 60s, really testing the bounds of what cinema could be and trying to do interesting different things with filmmaking techniques and narrative and structure and all of these things. And L'Aventure is a I don't know, it's a very interesting watch, but it's also very dull at the same time. It's a weird kind of combination of different attributes, but it's a very austere film. It begins with this woman named Anna, who is about to go on a trip with her friend Claudia. And Anna is complaining about her fiance, and she is just kind of, continuing to complain about him and saying that, she's tried to create distance from him in order to try to kind of make the heart grow fonder, but she just doesn't seem to like this guy. They go up and meet up with her fiance, and they are going on a trip with some friends out into the Mediterranean on this boat. And again, it's a very frosty relationship. They kind of get back together, and her fiance, and she's just like, I don't know if this is working. It's just, I don't feel good around you. I feel like I need space from you. They are going on this boat throughout the Mediterranean. They come across this very small, like, volcanic island somewhere off the coast of Italy, and they decide to park there and get off and hang out on the island. This island is very small. It is like probably, in America, we compare everything to football fields. It's probably the size of, like, 4 or 5 football fields. It's not very big. They pull over there. It's just kind of this rocky outcropping out of the water, and they get out and start, kind of all hanging out there, some talking together, some walking out separately alone. All of a sudden, they realize that Anna is nowhere to be found. And so she has been the lead character up to this point in the film. Her fiance and her best friend have no idea where she is, and they are scavenging the island trying to find her. The film is very, very austere. The way that it's beautifully shot. All of these really cool, shots of kind of, nature and characters kind of off by themselves, trying to figure their shit out. It's kind of like the anti-Hitchcock film in a way. Like, it feels like Antonioni watched Vertigo and Rebecca and some of these movies that Hitchcock made that are very suspenseful and put a lot of meaning around events. And there's a lot about missing people and the effect of their absence on the people around them. But with Antonioni, it's kind of turning that on its head and reducing the impact of any one event. And, like, the whole central event of the film is this woman disappearing, and there's no sign of it. And instead of kind of being very suspenseful and creating this, like, ominous dread throughout the movie, there's almost no suspense when these things happen, but there's this slowly building unease throughout the film that it just kind of takes a different approach than what Hitchcock would do with that type of story. They kind of scavenge this island for like 30 minutes of screen time, not a lot of space, looking around, trying to find her, and decide, well, she's not here. Like, did she drown? Did she leave? Did another boat come by? Nobody's really sure. And they kind of go back to the mainland and try to look for her there and talk to people who, there's a newspaper article that's been put out. They start to talk to people who say they have seen people that fit her description. And the movie kind of, it's her fiance and her best friend are looking for Anna. They can't find her. And then they start to develop an attraction to each other. And the movie kind of moves away from the missing person search into what is going on with these two characters. The film overall is kind of about alienation and loneliness and the struggle to build human connection and to actually find meaning in interpersonal relationships. And even when you do start to achieve something like that, kind of humanity's natural instincts to sabotage themselves and kind of destroy those relationships before they can be fruitful and create something that's meaningful. So it's an interesting film. It's long. It's like 2.5 hours, and it is very spare in what it's doing. I think it's a very interesting kind of inverse of Hitchcock and a look at how European cinema was radically changing in the early 60s, and people are trying new things that are different. And this is the first Antonioni film that I've seen. I've heard that he's explored some of these ideas more in subsequent films. I don't know if I'll seek those out or not. I thought L'Avventura was very interesting, and I would recommend it to film nerds who want to understand what was going on in cinema at this time and how innovation was being made and narrative was being turned on its head and plot and characters and all these things. I'm interested to hear what Ryan would think about it, but I know the answer, but it would be fun to hear. And Ryan would be like, well, why didn't he just make this interesting? Like, there's just like, there's like all this artsy fartsy stuff, but like you could have just made this like a fun Hitchcock movie, but it's not that, but I think that's kind of the point is he's trying to stress the bounds of what a movie is and what can be done with character development and plot and all these things. So for me, I found it very interesting, but I can see why a lot of people would be put off by it. It's a very cold film that kind of keeps its audience at a distance on purpose because its characters keep each other at a distance and they have trouble understanding each other and establishing meaningful connection and relationships. Being a post-war, Cold War kind of movie, I can understand why it's dwelling on this idea of alienation and individualism and a fractured community and things like that are all interesting ideas to think about. But I honestly don't know that either of you would like it, but I think you could kind of appreciate what it's trying to do. So yeah, that's La Ventura. It's an interesting film. Again, it translates to the adventure, but there's not a lot going on in the movie. So I'm not sure if it's intended to be ironic or why that is the title, but it's a very unique film that's not quite like anything I've ever seen before.
Would you say that like when you're saying like it's interesting for film nerds to know, during it, were you thinking about that in the context of it? Or was it like, I'm trying to wrap my head around how some movies, when you watch it, you're like, by the end of it, you can kind of summarize in your head. You're like, okay, I understand what they were doing. During the film, were there moments where you're like, oh, this is what is being done right now to undercut this part of it? Or were you like fighting yourself in kind of disinterest? Or was there some aspect where you were like, why are they not telling me? Like, what was the main emotional experience that you went through watching it?
Yeah, I mean, I was engaged with it throughout. I was focused on the movie. I wasn't thinking about like its context in cinema while I was watching it. It's beautifully shot. And that is a lot of times enough for me to be really engaged with something. And I was very curious as to where it was going. As the movie goes along and it kind of veers away from its central premise and does other things, and then it ends in an interesting way that it's just like, it's not anticlimactic. It is something that is semi-powerful, but the characters are so kind of reserved and distanced from each other that it's hard to really place a lot of meaning or significance on it. But I thought a lot about, after I watched the movie, about how it compares to Hitchcock and about, what was going on at the time in the 60s with French New Wave and other things like that, to kind of put it into context and understand it as a piece of art in the time that it came out. But I wasn't like focusing on that stuff during the
you didn't
film.
Like read the booklet before and then you were thinking about it all through. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I like the idea of something creating a feeling of dread, but through not really doing anything. Is that kind of...
It's like, it really is. It's more unease than it is dread, where you're just like, this is weird. What's going on? And like
just existential.
Her void from the movie after she disappears is like very palpable throughout. And it's like her absence is more powerful than her initial presence was in the film. And it's very much there. But like, at first you don't really notice because they're like, oh, hey, where's Anna? Oh, I don't know. I like took a nap over here. I don't know. Let's see. And they just kind of go start looking. And then like, minute by minute passes and you start to realize like the gravity of her absence from the movie. But yeah, it is weird the way that is built, and it makes you like more and more uncomfortable as the movie progresses. But it's like less dread than it is just unease and awkwardness, and like it's bordering on dread. It's getting to that point, but it's never to like the Hitchcock level of like intense suspense or dread or those types of things.
Did you ever watch Picnic at Hanging Rock?
I have not seen that.
This is it sounds like you're describing a very similar vibe to what that film is. There's very much like a looming dread, but never a visual or like scene sort of danger.
That was a 73 or something.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It has a very Daydream like quality to it, but there is sort of this underlying nightmare of like what the fuck happened at this picnic at Hanging Rock kind of thing. So as you describe it, I'm like, oh well, I already know something that was probably influenced by this.
Yeah,
seen some kind of visual comparison to it. Very interesting.
Okay. It's rated as like one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Right. It is interesting seeing that, I guess, at the Cannes Festival that it released at, that the crowd Cannes.
Charles Foster Kane.
Apparently the crowd was not into it when they were watching it.
Yep.
But then it went on to win the jury's prize.
Mm-hmm.
That crowd can suck it.
Yeah, apparently there were a lot of boos and walkouts during the premiere, and the critics loved it, but audience, at least local audiences, did not. And then it got outside of Italy into the international sphere, and people started picking up on it.
All the Italian audiences were like, "Where's Pucci?" Whenever Pucci wasn't on screen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much knowing, like, as you come into this, impacts it. I think if you're, this does sound like the kind of thing that if you sprung it on somebody, you're like, "Yeah, let's watch a movie," and then that would be a real rough viewing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. He has made several films in succession after that. L'Eclisse, The Red Desert, and another one in there that are all thought of as these kind of big pillars of international cinema of the 60s. And so I might go watch those. This is the only one of his that I have on Blu-ray is L'Avventura. So I may not watch his other films soon, but I'm interested to go back to them at some point.
Awesome. All right. That's a good recommend for L'Avventura.
L'Avventura?
Yeah. I recommend it if you want something different that is not going to be your normal movie experience. If you are into like modern or postmodern art, something that is trying to really stretch the medium and test what cinema can do, it's a really interesting film.
Surprised you didn't bring that Fellini Friday pick. But
I thought about it. I watched a Fellini film this week too called Variety Lights. It was interesting, but it's pretty straightforward.
Cool. I am going to talk about Conan the Barbarian, both Howard's short stories and the 1982 film.
Before the Terminator, he was tired of playing among the gods.
Does this mean I have Zeus's permission to leave?
It means you will stay, and I don't wish to hear another word on the subject.
I won't stay.
Perhaps this will teach you respect for your elders!
Now he's on his way to the Big Apple to meet new friends. Take in the sights.
I don't have any money.
Reinhardt! How you dog, you deadbeat!
How dare you,
And enjoy some local hospitality.
You just got here. Right away you're on the make.
What am I making?
It's Olympic. It's colossal.
I am having too much fun.
It's
Conan.
Oh, wow!
See it for the first time in its original form with Arnold's real voice.
Smile.
I like him, even if he is a bit crazy.
I don't know what I've thought about it in the past, but I've intended to read like all the Conan adventures, just out of like, it's interesting to me, something that essentially was a throwaway set of writing that somebody was making, right, for just like dime of these like weird magazine dime novel type of situations that has stuck around in the public consciousness. Also mainly through a really terrible 1982 film. Like, why? And trying to get a little bit into the root of like, what is it that's interesting enough to keep coming back to this character? A follow-up Conan movie that didn't do well, some Jason Momoa bullshit that I intend to watch at some point but haven't gotten around to.
Has Jason Momoa ever made a movie that is not some Jason Momoa bullshit?
There's like that kids movie that I watched. My kids have watched like twice, and I've only seen like bits and pieces of it in
the
a fever
Minecraft
dream.
Movie?
No. Yeah, actually, my kids don't want to watch and adamantly don't want to watch the Minecraft movie, which I'm very happy.
Ryan,
Thank God, you did it.
It's finally
great job as a parent. You won parenting.
God damn. Give him the trophy. Give that man the $5,000.
Yeah. There's some movie that's like a Nemo and Dreamland pastiche that he's in where he's completely hamming it up and it's all like just over the top that actually looks like for him an interesting role, I think, where he's not like, it seems like he's having fun with the role instead of like being set up to fail at being something that he's not, which is pretty much every other Jason Momoa movie. I think they're trying to stick him into something that he's not in it, and it just hasn't worked.
There was a straight to Amazon Prime Jason Momoa action movie from like a couple months ago. And for like a week, that was the only commercial that was shown on television. It was a Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista buddy action movie. Couldn't I tell you what it was called, but it went straight to Prime. And so it was forgotten immediately. And maybe 6 people watched it. Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Oh, yeah,
that's what it was called. Yeah. But it was like the only advertisement I saw for a week, and then it just disappeared off the face of the planet.
Wild. Just a wild fucking thing. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yet speaking of just as enigmatic of Conan, he just keeps getting roles and commercials and shit like that. In the same way, everyone's like just keeps coming back. I guess it's a bit like the Zack Snyder. Like they think that eventually it will stick. We'll just keep giving him movies to make, and eventually something will come out of it, right?
It'll pay off, Ryan, during the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
It'll pay off.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I ended up picking up what is like the first chunk of Howard's Conan tales. They're all in public domain. I don't remember if it's because they're old enough to fall in the public domain or because they're the type of shit that no one bothered to copyright. It probably somewhat is the latter. And I read through those, and then I went back and watched the Conan movie. I have fond memories of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan movie. All of them do remember it being absolutely terrible, but an enjoyable watch. And I, a free Saturday, just my son and I, and I'm like, oh, let's watch something. And I was like, we now pretty much watch shitty movies together. It's great. Nice. And so I was like, oh, you'll enjoy this shitty movie. It is another one of those examples
This is a villain origin story, Ryan.
Yes, it is.
My father used to show me shitty movies. Said you'll.
It is another one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Watchmen today. It's fucking bullshit.
Ultimate gut.
It is another example of it's more inappropriate than I remembered it being inappropriate. And I do remember it being violent and having some sex scenes, but there were more than I remembered. And it goes so far that later when I was telling Darla that Logan and I had watched Conan, and I was like, I apologize. And I was like, yeah, there were more sex scenes than I remembered. There were like 3 sex scenes. And Logan goes, no, there were 4. And I was like, well, there was the one where they brought him slaves. There was the one where the witch disappeared in the middle of sex into the fire and then flew away as a lightning bolt. And then I was like, and then there was the one with the girl that he meets. And he goes, you forgot about the writhing orgy in the background in the later scene. I was like, oh yeah, I did forget about the writhing orgy in the background.
That's the age where you remember every tit you see in a movie, like very vividly. And those Schwarzenegger tits, man, they'll fuck you up. You got to be careful with those.
Did you then watch the commentary track?
The commentary, yes, that's what I was going to go for. The commentary where Conan, every time there's like some lady's like, oh man, she's just absolutely beautiful. And there's one where she like jumps off the cliff and he's like, what a waste of beautiful body. This is Arnold Prime traveling to Brazil and getting way too handsies with ladies. Arnold, right? Like
it's like she really died. She jumped off that cliff. It's so sad.
I did wonder about the production of this movie because the budget that it's on and some of the shit they do, I'm pretty certain it was, yeah. There were some people taking some pretty
they like fucking do
awful
animal harm
injuries.
And shit.
Yes, an animal harm. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable at points. I did want to, I was trying to see, how does this movie fit to what the original, stories were, and then also, what it is about those stories that's interesting. those stories are so fucking all over the place that anything could fit as an adaptation. Like, honestly, it's fine as a Conan. They are each a more fever dream than the other. And every night when I told Darla about another one that I read, she kept saying, "Why do you keep reading these?"
It's like reading a heavy metal magazine. Is that what you were basically doing?
It is like reading heavy metal magazine. Yeah.
Why do you keep watching every Pinhead movie over and over?
Why are you watching
Darla's constant? Darla is the Dr. Manhattan of your family.
Yes.
It is 2016. My husband is doing some weird fucking marathon of movies. It's 2026.
He complains about it constantly.
Yeah, he's doing a Conan marathon.
He does it again.
Complains about it constantly. Oh God.
The first like Conan story, he's an old man. He's a king. Like, it isn't even what you would think of when you think of Conan. And then like each story, it whoever he meets, you just assume they're dead or they'll never be mentioned again, because the next story is just Conan and some other shit. They are all unrelated. They all jump through time. The second one, I think it's like the second one, there's a fucking elephant-headed man alien from space who's older than Earth.
The fuck?
You know, I mean, I'm like reading this going like, what? I thought this was about like a half-naked dude with a sword. It's mostly about a half-naked dude with a sword, but there's always some insane magic bullshit or people from other like
cocaine
planets
time.
Or yes, they're absolutely each more insane than the last, and usually each a little bit more racist than the last, because
I was gonna say that sounds like a Hindu bastardization. That's crazy, man.
Howard lived in 2 counties in Texas, and I don't think he traveled any further out of that.
Which
he's
2
writing
counties?
This shit in the 1930s. Where was he was born? In Cross Plains, wherever the fuck, middle
that
of
sounds like West
Callahan
Texas.
County. Yeah, it's like Abilene.
Yeah.
Man,
it's absolutely
I've been
it's
there.
worse. It's
My
central.
sister went to
central
college
Deadman.
there. There's nothing going on. It is dead as shit.
And then he spent most of his time in Brownwood, which is where Camp Bowie is. Yeah. So also fucking nowhere.
Not Brownsville.
Not Brownsville. No, Brownsville has a population. Brownwood is like 1,800.
Okay,
It's
just
like
randomly
nobody there.
in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
So what you're saying
Howard
is he wrote based on his lived experience.
That's right. Write what you know.
Yeah. Actually, from what I can tell, he read something and then just regurgitated it. Like,
so just plagiarized?
Everything he wrote, he just stole from something else, is what I can tell.
Okay.
And he just cranked shit out. This dude wrote so much shit and so many different characters. It's amazing. It absolutely is. He threw everything at the wall. And I guess like the fact that Conan like stuck around to where people know it and know the name of it is interesting to me. But he would just send stuff into to these magazines, and they would buy it or not buy it. And then he would just write another one, and he would just keep going. And he wrote like fucking shit about boxers, detectives, horror, the Conan, like sword and sorcery, just fucking anything he could sell for $1. And he was good friends with H.P. Lovecraft, which probably also says a lot about Howard.
Yeah. They both have cats with similar names.
Yeah.
Probably.
So yeah. I every one of these like short stories was insane. So I can say that any Conan adaptation is a fine Conan adaptation, because as long as he has a sword and fucking hits people, it doesn't matter if he's smart or speaks poorly, or doesn't matter. He just can beat whatever. Like, that's pretty much every one of those stories.
And savage, and then we're good. That's the Conan we know.
Okay.
It seems to be that like Howard's philosophy is that the world at its core is barbaric, and everyone that's trying to like put some sort of society on top of it inevitably is going to fail. And someone like Conan, who just never grew up in a society to give a shit, will do just fine in just ignoring the rules of everything around him.
Howard's Journal, October 9th, 1930.
Only us barbarians can survive the madness.
Elephant Man flew down from space.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Like,
is it just Frank Frazetta? Is Frank Fazetta's art what props up Conan as like iconic figure then?
Pretty much as it went on, they realized, and I guess Howard realized if he could write more like sort of sexy scenes and they could draw actually sexy scenes on the covers of the magazine, that it would sell. And that's a lot of what cut Conan there. Interestingly, you can also tell when he reads something or gets a thesaurus, because he's really bad about using the same fucking words over and over again.
Wow.
And I drove Darla crazy. Every single time he introduces a woman, he says she's lithe. That's his description of a woman. Is
like,
they're all
like on a radio
lithe.
station? We're live, folks. She's live.
The L-I-T-H-E, live.
Oh, she's live.
That makes a lot more sense.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, live.
Okay.
Live.
That makes sense. Okay, I thought you were saying live.
And then,
yeah, that's a weird word to overuse. Like that, you got to be careful with that one. You know, it's like use it once and that it goes a long way.
Yeah. Yep. And then he describes their skin, and it usually is like ivory or alabaster, or like it's just in reference to some physical material.
Is it always pale?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, usually it's pale. Yeah,
I'm
usually
guess
it's pale.
always
There's a
pale.
couple like olive that come in every once in a while, maybe. Yeah, and then any depiction of anyone who's like vaguely of color is extremely concerning.
Yeah, sure. Please use the words, Ryan. Say exactly what he said.
Okay. In fairness, he just calls them black. Like that's it. Like at least he doesn't go too much further than that. But how he describes them and their like lack of humanity is really more the problem than necessarily the words he uses. And there's some very obviously Jew pastiches that are also exactly what you would think. And he just
classic
this is his like
1930s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what exactly what someone in the 1930s would think. So yeah, they're like, I still am gonna read the rest of them because they're so short and they're each so bizarre that I honestly the whole time I'm sitting there like I have no idea what's gonna happen. Every single one of them, I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen. They fucking wake up like a 2,000-year-old ancient sorcerer from beyond, like beginning of time, who's like immortal and raises an army to go against Conan. And they have this huge fucking fight of an army. And the wizard runs off, and Conan chases him down, and like he's about to cast a spell, and Conan just throws his sword at him and kills him, and then that's the end of it. Like that was the resolution. He just fucking threw a sword at him, and that was all it took to kill him.
Feels like my dad telling me a fever dream that he had, and just like consistently every time, and somehow it's also funneled through like a chick track. I don't fucking know.
That wizard's one weakness was a sword to the chest.
It's just swords, apparently.
Okay, Ryan, you've talked enough about that context.
Yeah, I didn't talk about the movie.
This is a
That's
podcast
the theme
about
of Ryan
movies.
right now. Is he just wants to talk about the things movies were based on,
Give me
not talk about the movies.
Your badge and your microphone right now, Officer King. Go ahead.
So the Conan movie does take things from the books. There's a lot of like snake imagery, snake cult shit all over the place in the books.
James Earl Jones is in it, right?
Which, yes, James Earl Jones plays this magician who is a character from one of the stories, Thusla-Doom. Again, it has no like bearing on the character in the story and James Earl Jones' character. Everyone else in this is really terrible. Like James Earl Jones is doing what James Earl Jones does.
Chewing scenery.
Max Von's our buddy.
I'm just picturing him like chewing a tree in the background.
That's what he's doing the whole
time.
Max von Sydow.
Yes, Max von Sydow is also
hell yeah, bury the lead
randomly in it. Yes. Yeah. And they're absolutely in that like spot where you can tell they're like kind of uncomfortable with what it is, but they're just like they're actors and they're doing
money.
It's good money and they're going to do what they're going to do. He's a king that like wants his daughter back and like
I just want my daughter back.
Pretty
Dixon,
much.
Come on. I thought you'd tag in.
You beat me to it.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyways, continue, Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, so the like again, the plot of this movie is all over the place. Like it doesn't matter. It just really is almost like event to event to event. Like you just are following Conan as just shit happens, and he steals shit and gets ladies, and eventually gets around to fighting this sorcerer that killed his parents at the beginning. Like that's, I guess, as much of a through line as we have. Conan forgets about that for most of the movie anyway, and doesn't even really seem to be the reason he kills the guy at the end. But yeah, it's mostly just for like having a movie with Conan to have his shirt off and have a sword in his hand and run around. Like, and it made money and it made him a star.
Yep. This is where we get a lot of, this is like a central point of a lot of Arnold's, screams and yells, right? Like he rolls down a lot of hills in this movie.
Oh yeah. There's a few instances of like shit where I can tell he totally like hit a real rock because he was rolling or he was like falling into a cave or something, and you can tell. But yeah, I think they even go to the trouble to like overdub him more than what they got when they were filming. To just add on top of
Hercules in New York style.
Well, yeah, yes, but like specifically for those
more
scenes,
like overdubbing it with more.
This great, there's like a great compilation on YouTube where he's just falling down like all the hills in the movie, and he's like,
is this like Homer falling down Springfield Gorge?
It's exactly
kind of
that. Where he's like, and then when they do him in the hospital, they just knock him back out.
I saw a clip where somebody did the Super Mario game, but all the sound effects were Arnold's sounds like that.
Screams. So good.
It's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I like you, Luigi. That's why I kill you last.
Peach, such a beauty.
Oh God. Well, was it good, Ryan? Was it everything you ever dreamed it would be?
Yeah.
What about your son?
It is as much a fever dream
How is
as
your
I remember.
son after this?
Where is your son?
Yeah, I call him in and get his review.
Oh God. Could you call Logan in? Would he be willing to come in and talk real quick?
Yeah, maybe. I'll see.
We know your time is valuable. Thank you for holding. Someone will be with you as soon as possible. Thank you for your call. We appreciate your business and the opportunity to assist you. Please continue to hold. A representative is working hard to take your call just as soon as...
He already went to bed. He's not going to put up with our bullshit.
So you're telling me you didn't ask?
Give me a separate... I want like the Simpsons equivalent when they're like, we asked a scientist what his thoughts were, and he goes, and then they immediately cut away. I want a clip of Logan being like,
and then we stop.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah,
please.
Did you like the movie, Ryan?
Yeah, I still enjoyed it for what I need to go back and watch Conan the Destroyer, the sequel again as well, which it gets like criticized that it's not as good, but I think they're both terrible. So I don't really know how you can like measure them against each other. So I guess I'll try and see. I'll try and see.
Fucking amazing. I look forward to that.
I am curious to hear more about Max von Sydow's performance. I think like he, worked in Sweden as an actor for like 30 years and was in all these incredible films, mostly by Bergman, and then was in The Exorcist, and then just like got money and had a huge career in American films as like weird, eccentric side
just characters, things,
like Nazi scientists and other random things that were just like well beneath his talents, but like he was making money. So I don't fault the man at all, but curious to hear your thoughts on Max von Sydow's performance after now seeing The Seventh Seal and Hour of the Wolf. How does that compare to what he did in Conan the Barbarian?
Yeah, I think he's just in one scene where they like drag Conan and his cohort or whatever in, and then seemingly threatens them for stealing stuff, but then is like, nah, you guys are good. Why don't you go find my daughter since you're good at like breaking into shit? I'll let you keep all your money and go find my daughter and I'll give you more. And it fits because he is enough like imposing, as like and the like old king that's like sitting on his throne and the guards like drag you in front of him. He does the right like fit for like an imposing guy that's like, what are you doing? You stole all my shit, and then is like, but please go save my daughter, kind of like high fantasy thing. But he's really just like one scene. Meanwhile, James Earl Jones is in several things, like going off on long tangents.
Yeah. Oh, he's great at that.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, James Earl Jones has this whole thing where he's like talking about power, and he's like, it's not money, it's not your strength or whatever. He's like, it's being able to control people. And then he just like points to a lady that's like up on this, like high up on this ridge or whatever. And he's like, jump. And then she just jumps to her death. And he's like, that's power. He's like, that's what power is.
Oh my God.
Was that when Schwarzenegger in the commentary was bemoaning the loss of the baby?
It's like such a shame. So beautiful.
Jesus. And this was the role that landed him every other role in Hollywood, huh? Wow.
Yes, yeah, because he didn't work from Hercules in New York till this, right? That was 13 years, 69 to 82.
Yeah. Well, I think he had like, when did those like films
70s
of his, those
70s.
like VHS bullshit come out? Wasn't that?
It was
like the weightlifting propaganda stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, those ones. Yeah. I thought you were talking about
So I think he was
things.
he was selling himself as Schwarzenegger, but it wasn't until this that it was, he could also be an actor.
Right. Because he had proven very convincingly that he could not be an actor in Hercules in New York.
In Hercules.
And then proved slightly less convincingly that he couldn't be an actor in Conan the Barbarian, it sounds like.
That's right.
All right. It looks like he was some like uncredited or quote handsome stranger as a role in a couple of movies before Conan. So yeah, but he was, I guess it was Hercules, didn't really get anything going. Back to back, he makes the Conan movies, and Conan the Destroyer comes out the same year as the Terminator. I think you're just off to the races from there.
Interesting. Ryan, did you know that there is an Austin pizza restaurant called Conan's? There's a couple of them.
Knew that.
And there's Conan the Barbarian posters like all over the walls.
Yes.
All over.
Those are all the Frazetta ones. Those are great.
Yeah, they had their heyday a long time ago.
Yeah, I was just looking them up to see if they still exist, and they do. It looks like there's 2 locations left in Austin. I haven't had them in a really long time, but I remember them being pretty good. So I now need to go back.
I liked them.
And get some
the
pizza
wheat crust
there.
was solid too.
Yeah.
The one on the drag, I used to go to the one on the drag all the time. It got hit by a car.
They don't have that one anymore for sure.
Yeah, that one's away long
ago.
You
got hit by
a car where someone like put it into reverse instead of drive and went through the window of the car. I can only imagine if you were there, like eating your pizza when that happened.
That sounds like a movie scene. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
was the sound you made when you got hit? Was that what?
They fixed up the window and they put back the tables with the Conan naked lady art on top of them, but they left on the ground, the linoleum, there was a tire print from where it like ripped into the linoleum hot that was there until that store closed. It was amazing. Every time I came in, I would like look at that and be like, man, that fucking car was right there.
I'm pretty sure by the time I was at UT, that location was gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
just a Burnett Road one.
There's Austin's Pizza and Mellow Mushroom and Slices and Ices, which was my favorite pizza I've ever had, and they closed after my freshman year.
Bummer.
I know. Austin's Pizza closed too, and that place was great.
Yeah.
Me talking about things that were on the
former
drag.
Austin Pizza Joints, the podcast.
Yeah. Manjas, everybody. Manjas, not too bad. Just bankrupt.
Yeah. Me talking about things that are on the drag makes me sound very old.
Yeah.
All those kids are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
The Scientology church is still there, though. Don't you worry.
It stood the test of time,
give that
everybody.
up.
Lord Xenu rules all, sees all.
There was an arcade that was there that they took over, and that's still
Scientology
shit.
took
that
over?
arcade all the time.
Damn
I
it.
did not know that.
Ruined all the fun. Then now it's just a Jen's copy.
Yeah, that Jen's copy. Because I went to that arcade all the time, we kept walking by and seeing their ads for like IQ tests and personality tests or whatever. and so then we went in like
I remember you telling us about
going
that.
By. Yeah, just for a gag.
That sounds like a terrible idea, right?
Yeah,
I would like to know,
you put yourself
in
danger.
Yes, yeah. How many people have been asked to leave Scientology buildings? I guess maybe there's enough people
Just
that
you?
go in with ill intent.
Yeah, they know how to handle
that
you
maybe
now.
like they immediately like someone that they can tell is like from the news or whatever, but someone who's going in and is like pretending to listen to all their stuff, but then they can just tell us like, wait, we're not getting through this at all.
They probably are just like when they realize they're not getting through to somebody, there's like, your midichlorians are too low, you got to get out of here. You're not Scientology material.
It is gonna happen.
There's no way you can be a science Jedi.
Yeah, we're having a Zack Snyder Watchmen screening. Do you want to come? Like really chase you away?
And that was when
I have to go.
Yeah, see, and then what would have happened is I would have been like, what about Battlefield Earth? And then that's when they would make me leave. That's exactly the kind of questions that was getting me in trouble.
What a great movie. I'm not picking that for this podcast, though.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Barry Pepper will go unjudged. What a name, Barry Pepper. And his main character, Johnny Goodboy Tyler. God.
That's quite a name.
Earth.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian, though.
All right, anyway, back to the Conan the Barbarian. I recommend it. It's maybe it's not a. What is it even rated? I don't even remember.
It's R.
But
it's rated R,
more,
isn't it?
Is it rated R? All right. Well, then
pretty sure.
Didn't we just talk about all the sex scenes in it?
It's all R.
Yeah, but this was back in this in the 80s.
Back
was
when
that time
PG
period where ratings
meant
were
something,
weird. Remember,
it used to mean something.
PG meant something before PG-13 existed, and then they made that, and then it completely rendered PG useless.
Yeah, PG used to mean parental guidance, which means fuck it, just take your kids and try to explain it to them. Damn it. Oh God. So this was PG. Anyways, in conclusion,
it was rated R. Yeah. Kind of amazing it did that well being rated R. It just, I guess,
that
shows
just proves
how much
Hollywood
Arnold's
are cowards now. They don't know how to make rated R attractive to children.
That's a good point. Yeah, you got to sell toys off your rated R movies.
God damn it, where are all your latchkey kids? Damn it, we should have invested in social services so they could continue to be let out and watch movies, undeterred by predators.
Ryan, would you recommend walking into a Church of Scientology?
Depends on your will.
If
you have good willpower, yes.
Answer.
If you have weak willpower, stay away from cults.
Right. Stay the fuck away from cults if you don't have willpower, please. There is no happy science. There's only sad science as you learn the truth of the world.
I recommend watching Conan with your child and then backing it up with Sinners. You're good to go.
Sure, why not?
How is that a combination that meshes? I have not seen Conan the Barbarian, so I can't say.
Just if you want an old throwback and you want a new movie, you're like, here's what movies used to be, and you show them Conan. That's two movies that would make you very awkward to watch with your child, both in sex and violence.
Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you watch Cool World with Logan? Call me back. For a Ralph Bakshi feature with Brad Pitt. Okay, cool. So would you recommend it solo though, or just you have to watch it with a kid? That's weird.
Actually, I mean, I probably watched this when I probably wasn't. My son's 16. I probably watched it before I was 16.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Watch it if you're before 16 and watch
it
after.
Yeah, you didn't remember all of the sex scenes, so I don't think you did watch it before you were 16.
It has been a long time since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
The
past gets further away, and I think on it.
But it's always brighter.
I don't though. Actually,
it's always so much brighter when you look back on it.
I get less and less rose tinted about my past as time goes on.
But did you remember the lamentations of the women?
Oh yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I like that the most famous line from that is not from any Conan thing, but from a horrible, vicious Genghis Khan
with John Wayne.
Oh God!
Yeah, John Wayne's quote.
This is falling apart. This is just all
John
off
Wayne.
the rails.
John, would you recommend John Wayne's Genghis Khan
Thank
movie?
God. Somebody had to.
All right. I'll take us. Yes, back on the rails. This is all John's Zack Snyder fault in the first place.
Don't blame Zack Snyder me for it.
I'm blaming you both equally.
All right, we have 3 recommends. John is recommending Practical Magic as a hot date night.
It's pretty good. You know,
Dixon is recommending La Aventura as a quality movie to challenge you into watching a good movie.
If you're a film nerd, then you'll definitely dig it.
Yes, if
or
you're
someone
a
that just
weirdo
wants
like
to
me.
expand. Yeah, someone wants to expand their horizons.
Yeah.
For once, just fucking challenge yourself, God damn it.
Yeah.
Stop watching Zack Snyder films and watch La Aventura.
Yeah. For those of you that don't want to challenge any horizons and just want to sit back and let your mind go, I recommend Conan the Barbarian.
Sure. Be hit by the car that is backing into you. That is the adaptation of Conan the Barbarian.
Just like is a car driving into the pizza joint of your mind. I have been your host, Ryan King. Joining me as always,
John Garcia. Yeah, I don't fucking have anything. I've used everything on this. This recommended refute and the previous episode. I'm out of it. I'm fucking detached now.
It took all of our power to get through.
Yes, it did.
Watching the Watchmen. Yes,
so much.
And also,
Michael Dixon, I'm recommending Conan's Pizza in Austin. Go get some quality pizza and see some posters of Arnold Schwarzenegger, tits out, holding a sword. It's a good time.
It's good pizza and quality posters.
We've got to keep these establishments open, folks. Somebody has to keep open the Austin pizza joints that existed when we were in college.
None of the art,
if not us, who will?
None of the art in that pizza joint is AI generated, and that is a goddamn thing to celebrate.
Do they still have a buffet?
Ryan, I do not know if they have a buffet. That's a great question.
I don't know if that survived the pandemic.
They don't have a buffet, but they have a fucking Area 51 light gun arcade machine that takes quarters and has a broken gun
Scientology
on it.
didn't steal.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
I will commit to go to Conan's Pizza in the next couple weeks and report back on it on the podcast to all of our listeners who are just fascinated to hear how it holds up and how it compares to how it was 20 years ago. And I'll expound on all
Subscribe
those
to our sub-podcast, After Poops, in which Dixon will talk about the food he ate and how it passed.
We'll get into whiskey and pizza and all kinds of weird shit and how it comes out the other side. Thanks for putting up with our bullshit.
Hey there, movie buffs, TV toughs, and all listeners in between. John here from the Afterthoughts podcast. I just wanted to drop in at the end of this episode and say thanks for listening. If you've got afterthoughts of your own to share, hit us up. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Afterpod, or jump into a conversation on our Discord server. You can find info for this and more at theafterpod.transistor.fm. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.